Hey Blades fans, welcome back to Hertz Arena for the February 7th clash between the Florida Everblades and the Adirondack Thunder. Will Henschel alongside Jake Maurice. Jake, the Blades back home after a pretty lengthy road trip, and a road trip that didn't really go the way of Florida.
Yeah, only one out of a possible 6 points. You lose the one in Jacksonville on Wednesday. That one hurts the most because that's the team Florida's directly competing against from one of those playoff spots. And then Savannah, you only get 1 out of 4 points against a team that at the time was sitting in 7th place in the South Division. It's certainly not a road trip Florida's going to look back on too fondly. There were some good things on that trip, but the most important things were the points. And unfortunately, Florida didn't get nearly as many as they were hoping for.
Some opportunities to get points tonight, but a very tough test awaits the Everblades. The #1 team in the North Division, the #2 team in the entire ECHL, the Adirondack Thunder, are on an absolute heater recently. Haven't lost a game in regulation in 2024. Jake, this is about as tough a test as you can ask for.
Yeah, this is a legitimate Kelly Cup contender right now in the building against the defending Kelly Cup champions. So you know Adirondack, they'd love to make a little bit of an extra statement that they can take down the defending champs. Florida and Adirondack have faced off before this season. Things are going to be obviously a little bit different now that we're in Hertz Arena. But this Thunder team is playing at a level that, frankly, no other team in the ECHL has played at in 2024. So this is going to be possibly the toughest week of the season for the Everblades.
Yeah, Jake, a couple of opportunities to get some points tonight against the Thunder, but really the good news for the Everblades is this isn't the first time that they've met this season. Back in December, these two teams played 3 games up in Glens Falls, New York. So even though this is a really tough test, Adirondack's a great team, not the first time you're seeing them this year.
Yeah, it gives you something to fall back on, which is honestly a pretty big luxury when you're going up against a team outside of your division. In those games, the first 2, Adirondack had a really strong start, scored 3 goals in both first periods in the first 2 games. Florida was able to mount a comeback, their biggest comeback win of the season in the first game, and win it 4-3. They came close, but didn't get it done, losing 5-3 in the second game, and then there was a 1-0 overtime loss for the Everblades in the final game, where there really wasn't much to write home about for either team apart from the goaltending. So this one tonight, it's the first game of a series against the hottest team in the league, the team that's played the best since the calendar is flipped. You got to come out and get going right away, because with the way Adirondack played in those first periods in the series up in Glens Falls, New York, they've shown they can quickly put teams on the back foot if they're not ready.
No doubt. And Florida is going to have to go through this series without one of its top 2 goalies, Evan Cormier, getting called up to the AHL Charlotte Checkers today. So we're expecting Cam Johnson to see a lot of action this week, potentially play all 3 games. We don't know that for sure, but certainly looking like that. So you're going to have to rely on Cam to make a couple of big saves and play probably 3 really big games.
Yeah, but I mean, Florida did that last year when Cam Johnson set a franchise record with 55 starts in 1 season, just because Florida had some struggles getting the backup position settled. They do have a new backup in David Tendick, but not sure when he'll make his debut. The team has to give him some time to get acclimatized to his new environment, get some practices in. Tendick is an experienced goalie in the ECHL in his 3rd year in the league, but Johnson, he's going to be getting the majority of the games, the vast majority probably of the games down the stretch, at least until Cormier were to come back from the Checkers. It certainly is a big loss, but Johnson has shown that he is up to the task to play a lot of minutes last season. He was steady in the regular season with 55 starts, by far the highest in the league last year, and then gets into the playoffs, goes in all 22 games and wins the playoff MVP. So he doesn't mind playing a lot of hockey.
Not too shabby from Cam Johnson, but Jake, Adirondack is on a 17-game point streak. Florida trying to bounce back in a couple of wins. A really, really good matchup tonight teed up here at Hertz Arena. So I think it's high time we get into the Griffith Group of Downing Fry Realty. 3 keys to the game.
Well, we talked about one, you got to have a strong start. It's an Adirondack team that's coming in feeling more confident than any group in the ECHL right now. The Everblades are coming off a tough road trip. So the teams, in terms of just the energy, the confidence around them, are at different ends of the spectrum right now. You need a strong start so that you can sort of reset that and get it balanced out for the game. Second off, these are the 2 top penalty kills in the ECHL clashing tonight. So the power plays, they're going to be put to a really tough test. Both teams have a middle-of-the-pack man advantage unit, and you're going up against, in Adirondack's case, the best PK in the ECHL. In Florida's case, the 2nd best penalty killing unit in the entire league. So you're going to be tested tonight. It can be really good for Florida's power play going forward, that trial by fire, almost like the series as a whole. And the PK's got to be able to stand up at the other end. And then finally, you want to crash the net, create chaos. Coach has talked about getting those greasy goals, getting into the dirty areas. Don't be afraid of taking any whacks and bumps. There was some nastiness in the 3-game series back in December, but not anywhere close to the level of Florida against their regular South Division opponents. Either way, though, you can't let those kind of thoughts get into your head. You just got to drive right for the puck when it's in their paint and get it into the back of the net.
The Everblades back home at Hertz Arena for 3 pivotal games against the Adirondack Thunder. Puck drop at 7:30. We'll see you there.